As the conversation around Yoko's new updates continues to unfold, what stands out most is how the worry has refused to fade quietly. Instead, it has evolved, becoming more reflective, more layered, and in many ways more compassionate. Fans are no longer reacting solely to the content of her posts, but to what those posts represent within a larger emotional timeline. There is a sense that this moment is not isolated, but connected to everything that came before it. The periods of silence, the sudden bursts of activity, the highs of public success, and the quieter lows that were only partially visible. Each new update is interpreted not just on its own, but as part of a pattern that fans are trying desperately to understand, not to judge, but to protect. One of the most striking elements of this ongoing concern is how fans are actively reminding each other to slow down. In comment threads and fan spaces, there are gentle voices urging restraint, cautioning against overanalysis, and encouraging trust. These reminders are important because they signal an awareness that excessive scrutiny can become its own form of pressure. Fans recognize that even well-intentioned concern can weigh heavily on someone already under stress. This self-regulation within the community reflects growth, a collective effort to care without overwhelming. It also highlights the tension inherent in modern fandom, where love is expressed through attention, but healing sometimes requires distance. Yoko's updates, brief as they may be, have also sparked deeper discussions about emotional transparency. Some fans appreciate that she continues to show up at all, seeing her presence as an act of courage. Others worry that her updates feel performative, not in a deceptive sense, but in the way people often mask pain to avoid worrying others. This interpretation is not accusatory, it is empathetic. Many supporters project their own experiences onto her, recalling times when they reassured loved ones despite feeling far from okay. This shared understanding creates a quiet solidarity, a recognition that strength and struggle often coexist. The language used by fans when discussing Yoko has noticeably softened. Instead of demands for clarity or explanations, there is a growing emphasis on patience. Phrases like "take all the time you need" and "we'll be here whenever you're ready" appear repeatedly. These messages suggest that fans are redefining what support looks like, moving away from consumption-driven expectations towards something more human. In doing so, they are also confronting their own discomfort with uncertainty. It is not easy to care deeply without knowing how a story ends, yet many are choosing to sit with that discomfort rather than fill the gaps with speculation. At the same time, the worry persists because Yoko occupies a uniquely vulnerable position. Her openness has been a cornerstone of her appeal, but openness can become a double-edged sword. When someone is accustomed to sharing, their silence or restraint feels amplified. Fans are aware of this dynamic and struggle with it, wanting to respect her boundaries while also yearning for reassurance. This push and pull defines much of the current discourse. It is a negotiation between care and control, between empathy and anxiety. There is also a broader cultural context influencing how fans interpret Yoko's situation. Conversations about mental health, burnout, and emotional labor have become more prominent in recent years, particularly within creative industries. Supporters are more attuned to signs of exhaustion and distress, perhaps because they have learned to recognize these signs in themselves. Yoko's updates, viewed through this lens, become touchpoints for these larger conversations. Fans discuss the cost of constant visibility, the pressure to remain emotionally available, and the difficulty of maintaining balance in a world that rewards productivity over rest. Yoko's experience becomes a symbol, not because she intends it to, but because it resonates so strongly with shared fears and realities. Another layer of complexity is added by the timing of everything. With major professional milestones approaching, fans worry that Yoko may feel unable to step back, even if she needs to. This fear is compounded by the knowledge that opportunities in the entertainment industry can be fleeting. Supporters grapple with the idea that success sometimes demands sacrifice, and they question whether that sacrifice is fair or sustainable. In their concern for Yoko, they are also questioning the systems that shape careers like hers. This makes the worry feel heavier, less personal, and more systemic. Despite these heavy undertones, there are moments of lightness that break through. Fans celebrate small joys in Yoko's updates, finding comfort in a familiar smile or a casual caption. These moments serve as reminders that worry does not erase joy. The two can coexist. Supporters cling to these glimpses as evidence that she is still herself, still present, still capable of warmth and connection. In doing so, they reaffirm their hope, even as they remain cautious. The emotional investment surrounding Yoko also reveals how deeply fandom can function as a support network. While it is important to acknowledge the limitations of parasocial relationships, it is equally important to recognize their emotional reality. For many fans, caring about Yoko is intertwined with their own emotional landscapes. Her struggles, perceived or real, stir feelings of protectiveness, empathy, and sometimes fear. These emotions are not trivial. They are reflections of how humans connect through stories and shared experiences. Yoko's updates become a focal point for these feelings, giving them shape and direction. As days pass and conversations continue, there is a sense that fans are learning to recalibrate their expectations. They are beginning to understand that reassurance does not always come in the form of detailed explanations or constant presence. Sometimes it comes in the quieter act of trusting someone to manage their own journey. This shift does not eliminate worry, but it transforms it. Concern becomes less frantic, more grounded. It turns into a steady hope rather than an urgent demand. Yoko's situation also highlights the delicate balance between visibility and vulnerability. Being seen can be empowering, but it can also be exhausting. Fans are increasingly aware of this and are questioning their own roles in sustaining that balance. Some are choosing to step back from constant monitoring, reminding themselves that caring does not require constant observation. Others remain closely engaged, offering support through words and presence. Both approaches stem from the same place, a desire to see Yoko well. What emerges from all of this is a portrait of a fandom in transition. The worry has not disappeared, but it has matured. It is informed by empathy, shaped by reflection, and tempered by respect. Fans are no longer just reacting. They are thinking about how their reactions affect the person they care about. This awareness does not come easily, but it is evident in the tone of ongoing discussions. Ultimately, the story of fans still worried for Yoko is not just about concern. It is about connection in an age of constant visibility. It is about learning how to care without consuming, how to support without suffocating, and how to hope without demanding certainty. Yoko's new updates, simple as they may appear, have opened the door to these reflections. They have reminded fans that behind every post is a person navigating their own complexities, deserving of patience and compassion. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing remains clear. The worry exists because the love exists. Fans are worried because Yoko has mattered to them in real ways, because her presence has offered comfort, inspiration, and a sense of shared humanity. That worry, while heavy at times, is also a testament to the depth of the bond she has built. In choosing to engage with that bond thoughtfully, fans are honoring not just Yoko, but the best parts of what it means to care for someone in the public eye.